I'd like to invite everyone to join us at Mercy Union tonight from 5:30 to 7:30 for a free launch of our 25th anniversary issue. And I'll turn it right over to Jamie Angell.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming. Well, you're here to see Brendan's exhibition. This is his first show at the gallery. Typically the gallery specializes in showing emerging Canadian talent as well as international artists. So there's a bit of both. And artists that take risk and also the tensions between the utopia and dystopia. You definitely see it in Brendan's work. And so the gallery's been open since 1996. And so it's almost 14 years.
Doesn't seem possible, does it?
You've been writing about it since 97. I remember that. You were just... So this is Gary Michael Dault, critic at large, who will be speaking as part of the Canadian Art Hop today. So I'll turn it over to Gary.
You want to? Turn it over to Brendan and me or something.
This is Brendan himself.
Brendan himself. I was doing the things that people are often requested to do, which is do critiques at LCAT and look at the work of people who are soon to be graduating. And I came across Brendan's work and Brendan himself in the course of critique. And the work stood out, with profound sort of energy and stuff, starkly from its surroundings. And so I thought, I didn't do anything about this exactly, except keep Brendan in mind. Think, here's a young man who knows what he's doing, who's really going to go places, and lo and behold, that didn't seem like very long ago. 4 or 5 years ago or something?
It's only 2.5.
Yeah, you're still a child. Yeah. Young painter is extremely young. 15 is what he is. And I asked Jamie, just on the QT, I'm going to be writing about Revenant next week today in the Globe, and I in the course of the week, if you guys hadn't all been here, I would have had the time to look up what Revenant meant. So I asked Jamie just now if we could find out what it means, because I didn't know. It's a word I heard and kind of knew vaguely had to do with the world of the supernatural or the undead or something, and of course that is in fact what it has to do with. It has to do with the reappearance among us of hitherto deceased entities, I guess. And which of course could apply to interests in an artist or a writer. They weren't literally that, but it had to do with the revisitation of things. And if you look around, I think I'm not wrong in suggesting that the work is pretty well tinctured with, laced with, colored with, a kind of deliberate, almost Wagnerian sense of placing things in a distant mythological past. Zombies and people who do us damage may well walk among us all the time. In fact, I'm absolutely convinced of it. But the way Brendan has depicted the people in his pictures, they have this sort of like the sort of declining, sort of greenish, moldy sort of girl lying on that unpleasant purple sort of ground with those stark dying trees. There is a kind of deliberately objectification would be wrong, a deliberate remove of the subject from our immediate world, which gives them a mythological cast, although the mythology is not specific as it would be in Wagner or other mythologizers, so it's a general thing. The other thing too is people have been saying, well, isn't he really kind of a young Kim Dorland? I mean, Kim Dorland is a painter who's very successful in this gallery and is showing internationally. And I think that kind of impression comes only from an initial engagement with the pictures in which one looks at sort of searing, acidic palette, maybe. But a moment's reflection, one moment more of observation would show you that where Kim Dorland is very much a brush man, it brushes on pigment, however searing and alarming and intoxicating the paint may be, it's brushed on in a reasonably traditional way. Brendan is not. I mean, Brendan squeezes his pigment on the canvas from little squeezy bottles and things, and has outrageous, unruly ways of getting the paint on the canvas. Just as strange as Pollock scribbling on the floor. Other ways of distancing, distancing the painter, from his own virtuosity, perhaps. I mean, I think painters are very fond of finding impediments and finding ways of putting methodological oddness between their own beautiful, exquisite sensibility and their risk of being too slick. And the way to sort of subvert the slickness is to sort of embrace a method that allows for chance, danger, mistakes. Remember Pollock used to say, people used to say, well, how do you know when a picture is going muddy and it's not working? He says, Pollock said, if it goes muddy, if it doesn't work, I throw it away. I mean, it positions the artistic act one step further back. And, you know, the moment, you know, how when you draw, I mean, you're making artistic decisions every 10 nanosecond about how is it going. Did this line, which was fine, all of a sudden go bad? But Pollock would do a whole thing, and then he'd say, no, I lost control, it's no good, it would become garbage. I think you can't control everything here. No, you can't control the presence of that, you know, or this. These are happy things that Brendan would have to decide to leave or not to leave. I mean, so a canvas becomes a million decisions, just like any other canvas, but those decisions are perhaps positioned at a different distance, I think, from the canvas. The subject matter, maybe you could talk a little bit about the subject matter. I can't get closer to accept the fact that it does seem to have this sort of literary, mythological remove from us. You know, as if we were steeped as a child in Nordic literature, fairy tales, psychedelic, you know, I don't know, video games. I don't know.
Yeah, which I was, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
figures.
But I do read a lot, so it's been like a lot of reading kind of dystopic kind of novels as well, and reading sort of, you know, from the 50s kind of nuclear war novels, which is On the Beaches, you know, to like Oryx and Crave and those kind of war.
It's funny, you know, that people your age should embrace that kind of pre-nuclear jitter so profoundly, because it was my generation who watched the nuclear clock approach 12, and we were, you know, when I was first teaching high school, we were all prepared to dive under the desk. I was teaching high school in the very, very early years of my career. I taught for 2 years before becoming something else. And it was during the Bay of Pigs crisis, and we all thought we were going to die. You know, we were all ready. Students were ready to go under the desk. Nobody taught classes. The radio was on all the time. And you know, I was the age of the person who fully inhabited the age of nuclear terror. You know, and yet for you people, it's become a kind of literary construct.
Yeah, and it's also, I think there's an environmental sort of
It's
here within our culture.
Right.